Hi, how are you keeping? My name is Patrick Ward, and today I'm going to talk to you about which mycotoxin test is right for you. I suppose to address any problem, we need to identify the cause. And mycotoxins being invisible, toxic compounds, this task falls to various analytical methods. These methods that I'm going to talk about today are the AccuScan Gold. This is a handheld unit, the Neogen Raptor, which can be a solo unit or a benchtop unit, and finally our 37 Plus Lab LCMS method, which is the gold standard when it comes to mycotoxin quantification. I suppose to touch on each one a bit more detail, the AccuScan Gold is essentially for instant on-site detection of mycotoxins. Units like this are often the first line of defence against mycotoxins for the likes of feed mills, suppliers, and farmers who want to check their own feed. But it gives you the ability to investigate suspected issues at the source 24 hours a day. Their sensitivity can range between ppm, which is parts per million, to ppb, which is parts per billion detection limits, and is essentially the first tool that you go to in your arsenal. The second unit we're going to talk about is the Neogen Raptor unit. This uses lateral flow test strips to quantify specific mycotoxins. Samples do still need to be dried, ground and weighed depending on the sample, and in some cases the pH may need to be adjusted and mixed with an extraction solution. But aside from the preparation, analysis time is approximately 10 minutes per sample, and you can quantify 3 different mycotoxins simultaneously, and this can also be done in triplicate. The Neogen Raptor is an integral part to the Alltech RapiRead, and its integrated system helps for ultimate protection against mycotoxins. Our Alltech RapiRead uses mobile app for iPhone and PCs, and it streamlines the process for submitting tests, and results can be viewed within about 30 minutes. Then we have our LCMS method, which is, as I said, the gold standard in quantification of mycotoxins. It has a 3-dimensional approach, and I'll go into this in a lot more detail later, but it allows for the separation of compounds based on the retention time from the LC, the molecular weight, and obviously structural fragmentation of each mycotoxin compound. The main thing to talk about for each of these methods is relative sensitivity and specificity that you'll see in this slide. So rapid test kits, as I mentioned, are in around the range of the ppm. A lot of the time they can be qualitative, just to, do you have an issue, yes or no, but you can go all the way up to full quantification using LCMS technology. Alltech has invested in all of these techniques via our collaboration with Neogen, but also by investing in LCMS technology, which we have in our 37 Plus labs, and this allows us to get down to parts per quadrillion, which is ppq. Now, if you don't deal with ppm or ppq terminology, my next slide will simplify that. ppm is the same as 32 seconds in a year, which is which, as you can imagine, is a huge difference. PPT is 30 seconds in a million years, and PPQ is 2.5 minutes in 4.5 billion years, and that's about the age of the Earth. So you're looking at a huge jump in terms of sensitivity from rapid handheld units all the way up to LCMS technology. But again, these are all stages and detection process and analytic techniques that you could use to quantify mycotoxins. To touch on LCMS in relation to, say, conjugated mycotoxins, and this is the main take-home point here. This is where the sensitivity really comes into play. For example, deoxynivalenol, which is DON, or also known as vomitoxin, has a mass of 296.32. Now, if you're only specifically looking for that, or only have a method that can only detect DON at this mass, then you'll miss out on, say, for example, the conjugated form of mycotoxins, such as DON 3-glucoside. And research received from the reference has shown that glucose conjugation can account for up to 30% of the overall concentration of mycotoxins like DON or zearalenone or ochratoxin. So it is extremely important to be able to determine the difference between these and be able to identify them, and the LCMS is capable of doing that, as you can see from the LC chromatogram in the top right corner of the slide. Here you have the conjugate form of DON coming out at approximately 6.1 minutes and DON eluting at 6.74 minutes. So we are able to separate the compounds individually, and then we're able to fragment them. And when we fragment these compounds, they will give their own individual fingerprint, and that's what makes LCMS so important and so widely used. The stability, robustness and confidence in the LCMS and the Alltech 37 Plus lab is also underpinned by our use of C13 internal standards, and we use to account for interference in and signal suppression and enhancement in our analysis to ensure that we can stand over the data we generate. Because we're also lab-based, we are able to freeze dry our samples so they remain in their original state and are not degraded or damaged by heat. But to summarize all the three main methods that we touched on today, you can see you have your AccuScan Gold ppm to ppb levels all the way up to 37 plus LCMS testing, which is in the ppt to ppq range. Again, the benefits of on-site testing is it's instant. You can do it 24/7. You can basically do it whenever suits you, and you get your results in a few minutes. It is limited to the number of mycotoxins you can test for, but it is still a great tool to start you off if you find out you do have an issue. You also then have your Neogen Raptor unit, which has increased sensitivity compared to the AccuScan Gold and can be used to screen for DON, T2, zearalenone, aflatoxin, fumonisins, ochratoxin, and recently Neogen have rolled out a test for ergots, so that's also been added to the panel. And then finally, we spoke about the gold standard, as we mentioned, which is the 37 Plus lab, which can test for 54 mycotoxins quantitatively. We have 37 Plus labs based in the US, in Kentucky, covering North and South America. Our European headquarters in Dunboyne looks after Africa, Europe, and Asia. And we also then have a facility in China to support the ever-expanding Chinese market. So I hope you got to take home some information based on the different analytical techniques and instrumentation that is available for you. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to any of our mycotoxin team, who'd be delighted to help you. Thanks very much.